Previously on Good Germs Off-Road Adventures.
We're going. The communicators aren't doing right. Hold on. Yeah, high and two wheels. You're just going to have to turn around. And don't drive backwards off the cliff. Okay, viewers. We're leaving this cool little mining spot and we're going to head further up the valley to, the lookout point, and we'll check that out. There's a little hint for you. It's a place where you can look out. Yep. The old Ford right there. That's not a Ford. What is that? Is that a Ford? International? What is that? Viewers, let me know. It's a truck. That's what my daughter says. She calls it a truck. And she is correct. Yeah, a little bit of a dusty spot there. Yes, because it's always dusty. Yep. Well, viewers, we've come to where there's a little cabin here. I don't know which cabin this is. I think it has a name. It's not Rita's. Rita's cabin's over at the top of Pleasant Canyon. But this cabin has some significance to me and Brittany because probably in 2013, sure, we're going to go with 2013, she and I, along with a friend, we came up here and we camped. We actually brought all of our camping equipment up on the quads, ATVs, four-wheelers. Again, I don't know where you're from. What do you call them and where you're from? Is it a quad? Is it an ATV or is it a four-wheeler? Let me know, as usual, in the comments below, and I like to read those comments, and I'll make comments back and say thank you. Anyway, back to the cabin. We set up our tent right here, and we camped here, and then we, the next day, made the rest of the trek up and over Rogers Pass and all that. But yeah, this is kind of a special little place that my daughter and I had shared and camped here. It's a good little camp spot. There's a bench somewhere back there, and The cabin, of course, you can see it. It's just some frame, but I imagine if you wanted to and had the willpower, you could bring materials up and restore that. Anyway, pretty neat, huh? There's a lizard on the roof. Okay. All right, well, we're going to continue to move on, and we'll see you at the viewpoint, or lookout point, whatever you want to call it. In case you forgot, we are in the desert. We're just in a part of the desert where there happens to be trees that exist in mountains, because we're over 6,200 feet above sea level, so it's the mountains. Such a pretty drive through here. It's hard to believe that we went through all those crazy rocks and everything, and then this is where we're at now. Okay, viewers, in case you can't really tell, we're at the top of the lookout point. It's a bit windy up here, to be expected. And I brought you all up here because I want to show you the view. And I'm also going to show you the next challenge that we have. So we're looking down into Death Valley Park. Right in front of us there is Striped Butte. From the other side, it's a bit more stripy. And then Geologist's Cabin, it's out there somewhere. It's a little hazy today, so it's hard to see all of the different mountain ranges in the distance. There's Brittany. She's doing recording. Hey, Brittany. But still beautiful, nonetheless. So I mentioned, the next challenge, and I'm going to show you what I'm talking about. It's the climb as we start going up and over Rogers Pass. We got to gain and lose about 1,000 feet of elevation a couple of times as we go through here. And I'm going to point to it here. Well, look over there and you'll see it. You'll see what, okay. So this is the beginning of the climb to Rogers Pass. Now this isn't all of it. We also ride these two peaks here before we head back down through Pleasant Canyon. Most of this is pretty easy, but I'll zoom in, and this spot right there, it's the most difficult. It's the steepest part, but it should be no trouble at all for these machines. Done it many times before. Even the Chicken Hawk ran through that. We saw that video maybe of the Chicken Hawk review, and it went up that just fine. So we're going to put all the cameras and stuff away and get going again, and we'll catch back up with you at the other end of Rogers Pass. Okay, viewers, we're going to stop. You can see the trail. I know it's a little early, but we're going to go ahead and put the rigs in four-wheel drive low and get at it. So recording elevation right now, 6,377 feet. Okay, switch to the left. Probably didn't need to, that's okay. Big rut on the right. Go, stay left. Okay, now we're going to get our first look at the worst part of the hill. And, well, we're just going to go for it. This is where the fun begins. Alright, very good. I've got a weird vibration happening. There it goes. Alright, that's the worst of the hill. Brittany, are you good? I'm excellent. That is the worst of it. Done. This hill doesn't stop. Just when you think you're at the top, no, you're not at the top. She just keeps on going. A little bit of rocks up here, but it does not look bad. Just go left. Okay. Well, viewers, we are now officially at 7,305 feet elevation. So we just climbed 1,000 foot right up the face of that mountain. And now we're going to go back down. So we could take this left here and it would take us back to Middle Park Canyon, and it would take us back to that cabin that we stopped and had lunch at. That's both information for Brittany and you viewers. Okay. We'll figure out a way. Oh yeah. Well, viewers, we made it to the more or less the summit of Rogers Pass. There's a neat sign. We're going to check that out in a minute. We ran into some off-roading friends out here. I count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 rigs here. And while I'm standing here, there's a truck coming up. And I'm not going to lie, that Ram is a big vehicle to be coming up in these parts, but you do it. Up here at the summit of Rogers Pass, of course, we've got the sign. Gives the elevation 7,160 feet. Like I said, we've climbed from 1,000 feet above sea level, and now we've climbed 6,100 feet up. Hard to read all this. I'll just scroll through it. You know, y'all can pause it and read it as you wish, or I'll just maybe voice it over. That's all fine. But you can see there's a lot of fellow off-roaders out here enjoying the desert. So we're going to go ahead and pack up a little bit, maybe take some pictures there next to the sign, and then we're going to head down Pleasant Canyon. Just talking to one of the other guys that was up here, he said they've bladed the whole thing, so it's not as rough and probably challenging and awesome as it used to be, but we'll find out. We'll go down. I think all of the challenging four-wheel drive low nonsense is over. Pretty sure, because it's all downhill from here. Okay. Okay, viewers, we're leaving the Rogers Pass area, and we're just going to head right on down Pleasant Canyon. We'll make a stop at Claire Camp and adventure around there for a little bit. Lots of neat things to see there. Probably won't stop at the World Beater Mine Cabin. Maybe we will, I don't know. But this will take us straight back down to Ballarat. And there's snow right there in the shade. Just like when me and Tam came. Yeah, it's pretty neat. So, funny story, when Tam and I came up here, this is where she rear-ended me because she was not really watching what I was doing, got on a bad spot. Anyway, I had stopped and she didn't, and she ran into me. There's a branch. And real quick, we're just going to take a drive through here. So this would be Rita's cabin. This one's a more well-known cabin. I don't know who Rita was. She was an important figure back in these days, but definitely a pretty neat cabin. A makeshift bench, that's good. There's a picnic table and some other things out here, but this is definitely a nice place if you want to come set up a tent, or if you're overlanding and you want to have your truck or your Jeep or whatever set up. Definitely a great place to do it. Nice fire pit ring there. Definitely a great spot. There's some workings here. I see the cab of a truck sitting up at the top of that thing right there. Okay, let's go up here, and we're not going to get off or explore. We're just going to go up here and show you what's up here real quick and talk about it for 30 seconds. Okay, so right here, this road that we're not going to go on right now because it's not widely used, this road is switchbacks all back and forth on this mountain here. It comes across, you can barely make out the trail, goes to the peak of this here, and then on the back side of this peak is the Ratcliffe Mine. That mine is what the Clare Camp, which we're going to go down and explore here in a minute, that mine is why Clare Camp and a lot of this exists. Been in that mine, super sketchy. We'll never go in it again. It's also a bit of a journey to get up there. But what we're going to do is come up here and check out the cabin. This is the World Beater Mine cabin. Again, we're not going to explore it too much. There's not much inside. It's pretty cool. We're just going to kind of drive around it. It does have an outhouse right there, so that's nice. It has a super nice deck here off this north-ish facing wall, which would be an awesome place to have that picnic table that's sitting there. You get a nice view of the canyon. But World Beater Mine, this was, I don't know who built it, but it's called World Beater Cabin, because up this canyon a little bit is World Beater Mine. That is Shorty Harris's World Beater Mine, and Shorty Harris was one of the many characters that was known for mining in the area, stayed in Ballarat for a while. Looks like somebody's put water here. That's kind of neat. But anyway, we're not going to go inside. There's not much in there. Looks like there's a couple of bunks in there. There's usually a log book. But we might have some other things that we want to get to today, and we don't do the helmets and all that, so we're not going to go inside. You can see it does have the original leaded glass windows. They're all wavy. It's pretty neat. Well-kept cabin. We're going to turn around and head down the cabin down to the Claire camp. Now, if I find photographs from when I did make it up this road right here and up to the Ratcliffe Mine, I'll insert them here at some point. But I do have photographs of making that trek. It's a journey, and it's steep. That would have been back on the old Sportsman 500, but it was a good adventure. Me and a buddy, he had another Sportsman 550 XP, maybe, I don't remember. But anyway, we made that journey up to the very peak of that mountain up there. And it's a wonderfully terrifying place to go adventuring. Because you can kind of see the switchbacks up this canyon. Then it goes back over here. Then it goes back across the top. It's not for the faint of the heart. As I slow down a little bit, you can, on the camera you're not going to see it, but you can kind of make out the tramway cables all the way to the top. There's a tram station there, and up there, that's the top tram station, and above that is where the mines are. Now the Ratcliffe Mine, as far as I know, was 5 levels. It could be more. And by the way, we're going to drive right over the cable. It's right here in front of us. And the anchor point was back over here. Anyway, as far as I know, the Ratcliffe Mine was 5 levels. They're all at the top. Most of them are half caved in. Timbers are cracked, and that was, well, 10, 11 years ago. So I can only imagine what that might look like now. That would have been the Keystone Mine. I think it was the mountain. I think it was the mountain, the noises of the mountain. Looks like we're getting close to coming up to Claire Camp here finally. That's where we're going to be right now. Right here. So let's just park him here. There was a building here last time I was here. Hey viewers, we're at the Claire Camp. And there's not much left here. You know, I remember there being a lot of little buildings and cabins, and they are completely gone. There is not a sign of one left. I found some ruins up the hill over there of what used to be a two-story structure that used to be over there, and that's about it. You know, next to where we parked the quads right here, you can see that stone fireplace right there. That was a pretty nice cabin, and it had been fixed up. It was a really nice little cabin, and it's gone, like completely. The only sign of it that it was even there is that fireplace. So I don't know what has happened. But you can also see this, you know, cement slab. There was a structure there along with a couple trailers used to be parked here. I see the tram wheel house right there is completely collapsed. I don't remember if that's new or not. But I'm glad to say that the old boilers and transmission there are all still here, along with the big ore bin and the tram stations and tramways. Now, I may be slightly annoyed because I've already done all of my video recording here. However, after, you know, doing that, something told me I should just check it and make sure it's okay. And sure enough, I didn't record any sound. No idea why. It looks like the microphone may some reason have been muted. Have no idea why. But anyway, we're going to do it again and see all the same things for a second time. And that's all right. There's all these neat rock foundations all over the place. But this is what's really neat. The boilers still sitting here. I think there was probably more boilers than just these. Looks like there's the foundation for more. I'm not sure if that was for boilers or something else. But definitely neat that these are still here. And some of these bricks, if you look at them, I don't know if I'm going to see any this time today, but some of the bricks have actually stamped who made the bricks, which is pretty neat. I don't think we're going to see that today, though. Definitely neat. So, you know, like I was talking when we were just up the road a little bit at the World Beater cabin, Shorty Harris's World Beater mine up there, I was talking about the Ratcliffe Mine. This is the main tram station. There was another one further up the road that I may have mentioned on camera when we were riding past it, but this is the main one. And it's pretty neat, but we're like a mile or two down canyon, and that's how far away the mine actually is. But it's kind of, you know, east from here. I'm trying to get close to an edge here without falling off. Definitely neat. That ore bin right there doesn't look so good, but this is definitely neat. And some of the machinery is still here. Yep, I'm actually going to walk on this thing. Look, it used to hold trucks. It can hold myself, I'm sure. And this tank right here, I think, was for cyanide. I seem to remember, I don't think it's there anymore, but on the side it used to have painted, it said cyanide. I probably have a picture of that from an old trip. A little workshop there. It still says cyanide? Brittany just informed me that it still says cyanide. Must be on the backside. This is a pretty neat shot. You've got your transmission, gear wheels. I don't know what that does. Obviously it turns and it does a thing. And then it goes up. You got your bin, and then you can see a tram station there, and then they just keep going up the mountain from here. Of course, looking down canyon, you can see way down at the bottom the you know, the lake bed. That's just Ballarat down there. We'll run into that, you know, as soon as we leave here. It's about 8 miles from here down to Ballarat, roughly. And then lastly, this strange looking peak right here, I believe that is Slim's Peak. I don't think it's because he used to spend time up there. I think that was just named after him, I believe after he passed away.
So I think that's going to do it for now from Claire Camp. We're going to walk around, take some more photographs, get back on the quads there, and head back down the canyon to where the truck is parked in Ballarat, and do some filming down there that we didn't do before we started and we have to do before we leave. Okay, sounds good.